Hey YouTube friends, I'm a dad of two kiddos. Being a dad is not easy. That's why I wanted to start this podcast to help other dads. Grab a drink and enjoy the show. Thank you. Hey YouTube daddies and lurking moms. Today I have a good show for you guys. I got a good friend of mine, Fabio. Thank you, Fabio, for being on the show. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your kids?
Of course. Thank you for the invite, first of all. Appreciate you having me on. So a little bit about myself. I work at a company called Vegetable Grower Supply Company up in Salinas. I am the Northern Operations Manager there. My neighbor, Alfonso. Grew up in a small town of San Lucas. Lived there my young life until I moved out, met my spouse, and we started a family together. I am a father of two girls. I have a 16-year-old and a 9-year-old. And they both stay pretty busy. My oldest likes to do sports. She plays all year round in high school. So she's done volleyball. She's done cross country, soccer, track. So definitely busy with that. My youngest loves soccer and does ballet. So busy schedule, shifting their entertainments and activities. But
You're definitely busy.
yeah, they keep us on our toes. I know I work in Salinas, about 45-minute drive. So sometimes I try to pitch in with the pickups and stuff like that. But
Heck yeah.
that's why the moms are known for moms. But the dads got to put in their part.
And that's why we are badass dads. So we have some badass dad stories. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. I accidentally snapped his ankle once when we were play fighting. Heard a weird pop and didn't think anything of it until a couple minutes later when he had me pinned and I gave up. I looked down and almost threw up at how disgusting his ankle looked. He then got up, grabbed an old pair of crutches, and drove to the ER for a cast. Dude wrestled with me for a good 3 to 5 minutes with a snapped ankle, flopping around, and made sure he won before stopping.
Oh my God, that's a good one.
That's crazy,
I
huh?
wasn't sure where that was going. Like, is it talking about dad and child or just two grown ups?
No, that's definitely dad and child, but maybe like an older kid.
Older kid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Dude, imagine. He's like, I'm still not going to give up.
It's that, trying to either the child or the boy or the kid trying to live up to his dad's hype, or the dad not letting the kid be better than him.
I think it's the dad, bro.
Right?
Like,
The
yeah.
dad.
The dad pride, like, no.
The dad pride.
I'm
yeah.
still young.
Exactly. There you go.
Okay, here's another one. I wish I could contribute, but my dad is a quiet guy. These past few weeks, when he had to care for my dying grandfather, he amazed me. I think not all dads have to be like loud and silly, and I feel like some dads work behind the scene doing dad things that maybe you don't see it, but it's like that saying where you don't have to talk about it, you have to do it, you know?
Yeah, that kind of reminds me like more of my dad. He was kind of more reserved. Definitely inside had a lot of love for his dad because he always talked about him. But face to face, he didn't really show it to him.
Okay.
It was more like, I want to make my dad proud kind of thing.
Ooh.
Or show responsibility on the way he kind of raised me in a sense. When my grandpa passed, he kind of really showed how much his dad meant to him, because I had never seen my dad cry or break down the way he did. But it said a lot. Like, and I see kind of that brief description there, more how my dad is.
Being the quiet dad.
The quiet dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My father-in-law, same way. He's always doing something, but like he doesn't have to talk about it. He doesn't have to show anybody anything. He's always doing his own thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. This next one. My stepdad is pretty badass. He had part of his finger removed rather than reattached so he can go back to work a couple weeks earlier. That's one. Two, he climbed the stairs to the top of the CN Tower in 15 minutes. I'll show you what that looks like. Three, whitewater kayaking. That's dangerous. Yes. Number four, he is a firefighter, which is pretty badass on its own. Let me show you the picture. That's a
Okay.
pretty tall building. I don't
Yeah.
know how far you get up there in 15 minutes, but
Yeah.
but
That's way up there.
that is way up there. You probably can't see it, but I'll show it on the video. Still though, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like he didn't want his finger reattached so he can go back to work. Okay.
You know, more like that old school mentality. That's how my dad kind of raised us, old school, tough. You know, they rarely go to the hospital when they get sick, stuff like
Ooh,
that.
Okay.
I worked with my dad for a little bit, and little incidents like that, like a nail through my hand or through my foot, and during construction, you're like, "Oh, I don't need the doctor. You know, I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'll get over it." But as you kind of go into these different living situations, it's the safe thing to do is go to the doctor.
Go to the
get
doctor.
checked.
Yeah.
But it kind of reminds me a little bit of that.
Ooh, okay. Now, how do you act? Or like are you afraid of going to a hospital, or you're like, "Hey, I don't feel crazy pain, but maybe we should get this checked out." Well, how's your scenarios?
I'm starting to learn to be more, I guess, as you get older. Take the precautions. It's better to go get checked. But growing up, I was definitely that stubborn one. Like, I don't need to go in. I'll be fine. Kind of more home remedies.
You just pull the nail out
Just
and
pull
wrap
the nail
it,
out.
call it a
Yep,
day.
call it a day. Don't need to go in.
Heck yeah.
And didn't learn about tetanus shots till after. Right? Oh, that's what they're for.
For metals like these.
Yeah,
That's
just to
funny.
be safe. But
Thank you. Super easy. You got this. You got this. What do you enjoy most about being a father?
you know, it's kind of it's a little hard to answer that question just because as you go through different stages and the kids' ages, you love those young years when they're babies and you get to hold them, and it's that bonding, right? The initial bonding where that love grows. But then they get a little older and it's like they're learning how to walk, they're learning how to ride the bike, and then they get older and then okay, they're learning how to play sports. I guess you can say it's the whole teaching moments that you're encountered as they grow up, from the day they're born till, I guess till they move out of the house. It's being there for those lessons that you may have grown up a different way, and you have these ideas of, I don't want them to go through that, or I want them to have these experiences that I didn't have. So you try to instill some of that. It's just all those teaching moments. I think it's what.
No, that makes sense because at different stages, there's different things you're enjoying, right?
Yep.
Like, hey, I never thought I would enjoy taking my kid to a volleyball game or whatever, a soccer match, you know? That's cool. Okay, let's go a little on the harder side. What's been the hardest moment for you as a father?
The hardest moment. Let's go with like my oldest one. So, and I'll point two out, just brief. So growing up, kind of starting young with my youngest, I was 22 and my wife was 19. But we struggled with babysitting.
Oh,
So we jumped around with one babysitter to another, and then different place to another place. So I felt like the situation we were put in, it kind of felt bad putting her in those tough situations. sometimes you say, oh, they're kids, they don't really, they'll be fine, that kind of old school mindset. But that was a little bit challenging for me to kind of put my baby through those different difficult situations.
Oh, okay.
And now her growing up as a teenager, I think it's kind of more difficult, or trying to find the right way to kind of deal with, you hear about the teenage years. They're
Yeah.
more rebellious. They kind of develop their own personality, attitude. So it's just trying to kind of go through that at the moment right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, I can't imagine.
Some challenges, but you kind of go through
You have to.
through it, and you learn as you go.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Do you have a favorite?
No, of course not.
You can tell us the truth.
Everybody says no, there's no favorites, right? Grandparents say don't have favorites. The mom says, we love you the same. I say there's no favorites. But you do start to lean, I think, not in a negative way, not to say you put one aside more than the other, but it's just kind of you probably bond more than the other because they have more similarities to you, or you see more of them in you, so you could kind of simulate or relate. So it's more of a bond, not necessarily a favorite, but I think you can develop a stronger bond with one than the other.
Is one more affectionate?
One is more affectionate, kind of growing up, and she was an only child until she was 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you have a second one with that big of a gap. So she's kind of more involved with raising the little one. She's a good big sister. So kind of that many years alone, and then to see how they respond with the younger sibling and stuff, which I can say my daughter was awesome. I think that's kind of what developed more of a closer bond. But my little one has her own character. Of course, I love her to death. I see some similarities, but she's more like her mom, and I can relate more with my older one.
Oh, no
So
way.
I feel it's more of a bond with her, but not necessarily a favorite, of course.
Yeah, of course.
You love your
Yeah.
kids, kind of.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're a good enough dad?
I think I'm a pretty good dad. Just the way I was kind of raised, my dad being very old school, not being that affectionate father.
Ooh.
I always tried to be the father that's always there and showed affection and support. Kind of for those reasons, I think I've been a very.
Would you
good
say
dad.
you're affectionate?
Yeah, I think I am.
Do you think you've like broken that chain of the past isn't what you want it to be?
I think so. I think from my dad's generation, I'm the totally opposite, where I wanted to be that, like I said, that affectionate, supporting, loving dad.
Dude, that's badass. Honestly, I know you're a great dad, and like the things that I see that you do, hands down, dude.
I appreciate it.
If it were possible, would you be a stay-at-home dad? And with that would be having another baby. Would you want another baby? Do you guys want another baby? Thought about it?
No, my stance on that is no.
Okay.
I wouldn't at this point, because
Starting all
we're kind
over, man.
of careers. Yeah, exactly. Starting all over. Being at home, I don't know how that would change my thought process or my mentality, because with everything we've kind of had going at the time when my smallest was about 4 years old, she wanted to have another one, and I said no. It's like, I don't want to start all over. You're going to school, like where I'm at in my company, I'm in a good place, but I have to spend a lot of hours. I'm trying to get a promotion. So for those reasons, at the time it was no, and currently it's kind of too late for me. I don't want to start all over.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to when we first had our little one, and my mindset was, oh, let's have a third one close,
In age,
year,
yeah.
2 years, 3 years. But she had a rough pregnancy and she didn't want to.
Yeah.
So she's like, no, we're done. You're gonna get a vasectomy, and that's it. Just two kids. And I kept chasing the idea. No, let's have a third one. And finally, I guess you can say she convinced me, or I kind of settled into the idea of we're gonna raise two children, two girls, two beautiful girls. I'm happy with that, and we'll move on. And then just like I mentioned, kind of where we're at the point, and when she kind of changed her mind, I was already set on no. And there was
Oh, she did change your mind?
she changed her mind, and
She's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, Charlie's.
yeah, I had already decided, kind of made up my mind. Okay, this is what we're doing. Two kids, I'm good with that. And like I mentioned, the stage of our lives where we were at was kind of hectic, and I had said I don't want to start over.
Yeah.
And even a couple years after that, like for a few years, like she had a baby fever for a while,
Oh, no way.
and I didn't budge.
Yeah.
So definitely two for me was it after after a few years where I had made up my mind. But being at home, I don't know how that would change my mind. I think when you're at home and you're kind of taking care of the house and kids, I think it's part of it. So
Yeah.
it might instill that, the desire to have another. So I wouldn't know unless I experienced it.
Yeah. That's cool. So, girl dads, if your daughter ended up with a man like you, would you be okay with it?
A man like me,
Like you. You're at what age?
the man I am now, definitely.
The man I was?
No, I mean definitely. I think every guy, goes through maturing stage in their career. I think it depends who you hang out with, what kind of influences you have. But there was a stage where I was probably didn't do things that I would want anybody to do to my daughter.
Yeah.
Just jumping from one relationship to another at a young age, not taking them seriously or whatever. But wouldn't say nothing too bad. So that being said, I think if she finds somebody pretty similar to me with the values I kind of grew up with, I would be kind of pretty happy and I guess you can say not as worried.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that answer. With that being said, how, when, where were you able to talk to your girls about the birds and the bees? When do you think it's appropriate?
Oh man, I let the I almost said captain, but the wife say that. Have you ever seen John Trevino
John Trevino?
comedy?
No.
Okay, that's where the captain works at, but we'll touch that another day. She kind of took that under her wing with my oldest, but I definitely, when we're driving alone or have some time and she's talking about boys, you pop that question, well, are you ready for that kind of commitment? When she talks about, oh, she likes this boy or whatever, just kind of that's where the stage where she's at, right? She hasn't had an official boyfriend yet at 16.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us date nowadays a lot younger than that.
Mm-hmm.
So for her not to have a boyfriend at 16 kind of says a lot of how serious she takes actually having a boyfriend.
Okay.
So when she starts talking about it, like, okay, do you know the commitment? Do you know boys my age, this is what they look for, this is what they want to do? Are you ready to have that talk? Are you ready to take that step? I don't know if I'm making her nervous, but my intent is to kind of give her a sense of taking a relationship serious, not just as a game. It's not something, people date, they get attached, they get their feelings hurt, they move on, and, that's part of life. You're going to date people, you're going to see people. But what I'm trying to instill in her is kind of, each relationship, if you're ready for it, take it seriously.
Okay. So with that, she's never had like a heartbreak?
No, not yet. She's had crushes, and that's about it.
Oh, wow. You remember your first?
My heartbreak?
Yeah.
Not
really.
I do, but I think I was young, and it was
It was puppy love?
Yeah, it was puppy love.
Okay.
So not a real true heartbreak. Um, I had maybe 2 serious relationships, but then after you sit back and kind of analyze or kind of visualize the situation, you're able to get up and say, you know what, it wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
So I was more in those situations, so it's not too bad for me.
The next question is similar to that one, but so when the kids aren't around, what do you like to do?
You know what? Recently, growing up, I was into video games a little bit, but recently I'm starting to get into it again. So sometimes I'll turn on TV and just play video games.
What are you playing?
Fortnite.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, we did talk about this.
Yeah.
I play Fortnite, so
Oh, nice.
we still gotta play, dude.
We do.
We haven't played together.
You have to text me your player
The game tag. or
the
whatever?
game tag. That's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the terminology.
Yeah. What do you call yourself? Okay, let me see it. Let me find you.
Yeah. And sometimes just literally just go out in the yard and do yard work. It gives me that kind of, you stay busy, and it's relaxing to me to kind of go outside and clean up a little bit. The third thing I would say is it's just either go for a walk or run with the dog. Just kind of breathing the fresh air and getting that, just think or not think, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of in your zone,
Or
running
zone
your
out.
dog or zone out.
Yeah.
It just gives you a different kind of relaxation.
Yeah. It's funny you said gardening earlier because, like, I enjoy doing yard work. I really enjoy it. And, like, sometimes I'd even have a beer, cut the lawn, you know. It was cool. But I had to get a gardener because
Oh yeah.
if I skip 1 week or 2 weeks, then you have, like, all kinds of weeds everywhere. And I'm like, I'm not ready.
With everything else going on, I definitely had to do the same thing, but he only does the front yard. I still try to kind of leave some of that. You know, like you said, it's a little distraction. It's a little hobby. It's to make you feel good that you're cleaning your yard or making improvements to your
Yeah.
home, stuff like that. But I feel you. I did the same thing.
Yeah, you're like,
Just
oh, I could do it. And then you're like
Mowing
doing
the
it.
lawn every day, and
And then all of a
gets-
sudden you got all these tournaments, and then you're like, oh, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week.
yeah, that's
And
what it
then,
is.
whoa, what happened to my front lawn?
Yeah, I had to get somebody to cut the grass for me for sure.
That's funny. Do you see yourself within your kids? Either physical traits or like just characteristics, things that they do that you're like, that's me right there.
Definitely. You see a little bit of either your personality or hobbies, or like you said, traits, right? And each one of them, I think one is more similar to you, and like the oldest like sports, and I grew up loving sports, and I still love sports. Like I can watch sports, any kind of sport, kind of as an entertainment. And I see my oldest kind of has that same
Okay.
desire for sports, so that's pretty cool. My little one's more of a goofball, so I kind of see that kind of trait in her, and my oldest a little bit more serious. But I was very serious growing up. I was quiet, serious. And in terms of kind of like look-alike, they always say the youngest looks more like me.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you see a little bit of you in them for sure.
You know what's funny? My oldest is like a mirror image of what I look like.
Okay.
And my youngest looks just like my wife's family, but his personality is more me.
Okay. So yeah, so it kind of swaps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's weird how you see those things.
it is.
What's your take on sleepovers?
No sleepovers from my child.
Did
Well,
you get
it's-
to do sleepovers?
Rarely, and I guess part of it's kind of how you grew up, but no, it's just my personal kind of opinion. I have to really know the person, or if it's family, like okay, my cuñada, okay, it's my wife's sister, they're cousins. That's kind of mostly the sleepover she's done.
That's as far as it goes. pretty much.
Yeah, we've had like I'm all for having sleepovers if the parents are cool. So we've had plenty of sleepovers. Like all her friends come over, spend the night, slumber parties. But for me to let her, I have to really know the parents or feel comfortable enough. Okay, I know they're responsible. Okay, this is the kind of the home environment. If I don't know, I have no clue. Definitely not. I have to have that kind of peace of mind, I guess you can say, especially with girls, because you don't know, you know,
Okay.
the uncle or the
Oh,
you know
gotcha,
the
gotcha.
brother.
Yeah.
Just things that you kind of hear or you know grew up with. You better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
And it's kind of changes your mindset when you have girls, right? So
You think it would have been different if you had boys?
I think so. If I had a boy, I think it's a little bit more laid back. If I have a friend, he has a friend, meet the parents, say hello. I think I would be okay. Definitely changes for me, in my opinion. If yeah, because I have girls, it's just
Me growing up, I wasn't allowed. So I'm trying to see the differences. Obviously, honestly, I think with daughters you have to be more cautious than with boys. But I mean, I guess anything can happen to a boy too, right?
it's the same, right? You also have to be cautious because exactly like you said, the same thing can happen. You
Can
just don't know.
yeah. Uh, you kind of touched it earlier, but what's been your proudest moment
Um,
for both of them?
for both of them.
Yeah, just because they're so different and so different in age.
Well, I think they're both very intelligent, skillful girls. So kind of the proud dad in me is seeing them do these sports and activities where they're happy and kind of successful at the same time. They love the sport they're doing. They have that kind of what I see in me or what I had, kind of that competitive
Oh, they're very competitive.
mentality, very competitive. They get upset if they don't do good. And it's funny with my youngest at a young age, her first year in T-ball, they start at what 4 years old. It's hilarious because she did not like to lose. And she was so competitive. The coach put her at first base every time because she wanted to get everybody out.
Yeah.
And she developed, she could catch at so young age. It's hard
wow.
for them to kind of
Yeah.
catch or developing those skills. But she caught on pretty quick. They put her at first base. And anytime somebody threw the ball wrong, didn't make it to her, or they made it to base, she would get so angry.
Oh no way.
It was cute, right, at that age?
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the kind of that competitive mentality. I don't like to lose. And my oldest is the same way. She's very competitive. Even when she's injured, she wants to play. She wants to be out there. So that's kind of a proud moment just because I kind of can relate to that when they're that passionate
Oh, yeah.
about the sport.
Because you went through it.
I went through
And
it.
you
I was
see
the
it in
same
them.
way. Yeah.
Would you ever say that your oldest, like, you were her best friend?
If I was her best friend, I definitely try to be, but for me, I want to make sure there's that kind of sense of feel comfortable to come and share and talk to me with anything as your friend. But the challenging part is I'm still your dad, kind of that line of respect, I guess you can say. So maybe trying to balance those two out is what makes it hard for at least in their aspect,
Yeah.
what they can say, what they can't say.
I have a saying, not really a saying, but I read somewhere where, like, the goal is I want my kid or my kids to, if they're struggling or going through something, I want them to come to me and ask, like, or automatically think, what would my dad do? Let me go talk to him, rather than, oh man, I gotta hide this from my dad.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's big. Something big that we're trying to instill in more with our oldest, right? Because she's going through more difficult situations in her stage of teenage years. But we've already gone through certain situations where she's hitting certain things, and we try not to get her in trouble and make her kind of, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Give her that sense of, oh, I could go to my parents.
Yeah.
You know, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you just come to us? You know, this happened because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You can let us know, and we would have, yeah, we wouldn't have been happy, but we would have guided you. We would have give you better advice. You wouldn't be in the situation. So definitely try to approach it in that aspect for sure.
How do you think we can be more successful at doing that?
Just from experience, I think letting them, of course, they're going to make their mistakes, and taking those opportunities when they make that mistake to instill that in them. Like, hey, you should be able, I want you to have the confidence, don't ever hesitate, regardless of what it is. If you did the worst thing in the world, in your opinion, I'm here for you, regardless of. You're my child, and you're going to get my full support no matter how bad you fucked up. No matter what you did, we're going to get through it together. I'm going to support you 100%. Yeah, I may be angry, disappointed, upset, but at the end of the day, I only want what's best for you.
Of course.
And you coming to me and being able to be that person, that parent to guide you and give you the best advice possible, that's what we're here for.
Do you think, I mean, your girls are a little older, but do you think it comes from even like before that, them watching your reactions to things that they might do to see how you're reacting?
Yeah, that definitely has an impact on them, right? If they see you get angry all the time, they may have like
Hey,
the
back off.
hesitation.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't, he's going to get mad again. I'm not going to go tell him that because he's going to get upset. So that definitely takes effect on the way they think, and maybe not be able to kind of reach out. So definitely have to be,
At
to a certain
younger age?
extent, aware of how you're reacting.
Yeah.
Because they're going to see that in you. And it's going to kind of give them that sense of, I don't want to tell my dad because he's going to get angry.
Yeah. Dad's always angry. Don't tell him.
Yeah, don't tell him, he's going to get mad at us.
Yeah. Have you heard your girls say any bad words?
They do, but rarely. It's one thing that, I guess it's one of those things that it's a feel good that you may cuss around the house, you may use foul language, but for your kids not to use, they say the S word, or they say, oh, somebody said the B word. For them not to actually cuss, it's kind of a feel good moment for the parent because you're teaching them right from wrong, and they know what not to say and what is okay to say.
You think that's a sign of respect?
A sign of respect, definitely, for sure.
Yeah, like I won't cuss in front of my parents.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, maybe with their friends, they may talk a little bit different, but at least at home, I cannot remember when's the last time they've cussed.
This is for you and your kids. First, how are you disciplined? And second, how do you discipline your kids?
Well, definitely, my dad was old school, right? He was angry. You do something wrong, you would get a spanking.
Hand or belt?
Belt, hand, shoe, you name it.
A chancla?
Chancla. Definitely my dad was old school. My mom was old school, right? Same thing with the chancla, pull your ear. That's how I was disciplined. You got in trouble. There's consequences. There was la chinga. I'm not at all like that. We try to be strict and firm where they know when we're serious. But if it gets to it, that's kind of last resort. We do disciplined, and we have, but that's kind of what you were talked to, you were warned. You don't listen. This is the consequence.
That's like the final
The
resort.
final resort, which the way I was raised, it does instill that respect and discipline, kind of fine line of what's right or wrong. You see a lot of nowadays kids talk back, and you talk back to them and try to be nice to them. Oh, honey, no. That's not kind of the way we were raised, I guess, and that's not how we're raising our kids. Definitely a lot more laid back than the way I was raised. But you still want to, at least our mentality, we still want to instill that kind of strict mentality so they know there's a fine line. If you cross it, there's consequences.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As a parent, do you feel like you hold your kid back because you do a lot for them?
I do. I think growing up, you hear a lot of, at least the way I raised or I'm raising my girls, is I want them to enjoy their young years, be a kid. I think sometimes we want kids to grow up too fast. You don't want to hold them back. You want them to experience, go out, climb a tree. If you fall, you're going to learn. You want to try something new. Okay, is that right or wrong? But I think I definitely, from family, I guess you would hear, oh, está bien aniñada. Like for her age, she's younger than what she actually is, which I don't mind at all. Like I'm okay with that because she's a young girl. She's 15, 16. Pretty soon she's going to have responsibilities. She's going to go off to college if that's what she decides to do. She's going to get a job, and it's going to be a lot harder. I guess the challenge is preparing them for that, not letting them hold them back too much. But in my opinion, I want them to enjoy being a kid as much as possible. And like I mentioned, a lot of my family would say, tu hija está bien aniñada. You compare them to somebody their age, which is a lot more mentally, se puede decir, están más vivos, I guess you can say, right? They're more like mentally aware of their surroundings.
Okay.
So am I holding them back? I don't think so. I'm just trying to kind of balance that out, I guess you can say. As a
Oh,
dad.
yeah, I think you're right. Like, you want them to be kids. Hey, let them do kid things. Let them enjoy their youth. Let them enjoy each grade, because sooner than later it's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, I felt like high school also doesn't prepare you for the real world.
No, not at all. I mean, you go through high school, you have certain experiences, and my parents were real strict, so they didn't really let me do a lot. My mom was more like, oh, let him play sports. So I did play soccer in high school. But besides that, you have, I mean, what they expose you to, it doesn't prepare you for,
The outside world.
the outside world. It's more like, okay, prepare you to go to college or to go, in the working field.
Yeah. Did your kids bring back any of your old hobbies?
My old hobbies. Well,
It could be sports, cartoons, anything.
I guess the gaming, the sports, obviously grew up in a different era. We had different kind of hobbies, but And I grew up in a small town, so some of the hobbies were just, hanging out in the tree, playing in the alley,
That's all you had.
right? Yeah, playing marbles. But the only thing I can say hobbies, it's that video game mentality, the sports mentality. Those kind of carried over.
Okay. Next, we have our dad jokes.
Oh man,
I have one. You want to say yours first, or you want me to start?
I'll go for it.
Okay. I'm horrible at telling jokes, but I'm getting slightly better.
Okay.
Let me read it just so I make sure I did say it right, because I'm not good. I'm not good.
It's funny. I like to joke around, but then you forget all these jokes that you said in the past, right? So it's kind of hard to think about one right in the moment.
Okay, so
Go for it.
what did the Mexican firefighter name his two kids?
What did the Mexican firefighter name his two kids? I don't know.
Jose and Hoseby.
Jose and Jose. Good one. I like that. I like that. Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, you're up.
Well, let's just start off. I just said this one the other day at the campfire, but I think it's a good one.
I love it.
What did the caveman say when he saw a shooting star?
I don't know. What did he say? Dude, I told that at work. Everybody was dying.
Oh, dude, yeah, I love that one. I mean, those kind of ones stick because the reaction. You get.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good one.
Heck yeah.
There's another one that comes to mind. So, two guys walk into a bar. The third one ducks. Ta-ta. Right? They walked into a bar. Hit their head in a bar.
And the third one
Third
died.
one ducks.
I get it. That's funny. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Typical dad joke.
My dad didn't really tell too much jokes.
Same here.
But I had a Theo that's like his whole life, telling jokes left and right. Some inappropriate ones, but a lot of good ones.
For me, growing up was my grandma.
Oh, really?
My grandma she had jokes about everything.
No way.
The Pepito jokes. She had jokes about las monjitas, about los animals, you name it. She had, we kind of grew up at a young age and she was living at home and she kind of was our babysitter, right? She would stay at home, cook, and take care of us while my parents worked. But man, she had so many jokes. I learned a lot from her in terms of jokes.
Yeah.
But it's foggy, so I don't remember anyone about.
It's funny you mentioned it because, like, one of my core memory jokes was a Pepito joke.
Okay.
Like, I was way too young to know these jokes, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember.
It's inappropriate, but I'll
is.
tell you. I'll tell you another time. I'll tell you that one. I
Okay.
don't think they're ready for it.
Right. Yeah, I can think of a few, but I won't say it.
We're talking dad jokes, not.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
course.
Thank you for believing in the process. I know this was a little last minute, but thank you. I appreciate you as a person and as a father.
That means a lot. Thank you, and likewise, I see you. With your two young kids. It's always a challenge, but it's great experience. And I see the passion that you have of being
thank
a
you.
father.
It's hard.
So-
It's not easy.
It's not easy, but if you have that passion, that's all you need. Definitely.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fabio, last question. What advice would you give a new dad?
Tough question, but the advice I would give to a new dad, a little bit kind of based just a little bit on my personal experience, is you learn as you go. You definitely have to take any advice you can if you want to be a good dad, but everything is learned as you go. When you make this bond with your newborn, with your kids, that's where you learn the most. Learning to be a dad is kind of going through those experiences and those bonding experiences. So my advice would be take every situation, more every opportunity, better said, to share those bonding moments with your little ones as much as possible. Those are what's gonna make you and bond you as a father figure, as a parent. It's those bonding moments. So any opportunity you have to share those moments, whether it's taking a day off work, going on vacation, taking leave, be there for them as much as you can do that. That's where you're gonna be, best dad possible, giving you those perfect opportunities to be there.
So Fabio, as a thank you, I collect Hot Wheels, but I also collect cards. And I heard you're a big 49er fan like myself, so I'd like you to choose one and then just show the camera.
Anyone? I get to see them all? Pick random. Oh man. Oh look, I have this one.
Sound from diapers to midnight feeds.
Good one.
To chasing dreams and planting seeds. We're here to chat. We're here to flow. Turn the volume up. Let the rhythm show. It's the Dad Pod.
When I started getting into football and when I became an actual 49er fan, it was the Steve Young era. So I would take Steve.
With wisdom, jokes, and a dad's embrace. Yeah, every story finds its place.
That's a tough question only because I've decided that
Oh, I was like, what the
should
heck
I
is
turn that
that?
off?
It's all good.
So where was I?
I'll ask again.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's Jeff working on his fence. Yeah, I was like, what's that noise? That's funny.